Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for keeping it TV47. It's my hope that your Sunday is coming up well and you're ready and set for me to update you as to what is happening in the world of news. My name is Linda Alela. It's always good having you. And news now begins right now. We start off, of course, with the highlights before we get to the stories of the day. Top on News Now.
First Lady Rachel Ruto has called on Kenyans to embrace universal health coverage program.
Msichana au kijana akikuja kwako, wacha akuje angalie apime pressure.
The government has assured farmers provision of subsidized fertilizer. This is after farmers condemned the government for delays of the commodity. Also, Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi has blamed the national government for failing to fund devolved functions.
And we kickstart with matters health as First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto has called on Kenyans to embrace and support the service of the health community workers and promoters, since they come in handy to make sure that they help detect and treat illnesses early. And further, she said that UHC is a key component of universal health care in the country that puts more emphasis on preventative health care, thus then, of course, reducing the cost burden associated with curative healthcare. The First Lady made the remarks while in Nangili, that is Kakamega County, where she joined family and friends in celebrating the life of the late Mzee Paul Maritim Samoei. Father to her private secretary, Helen Mzee Paul Maritim Samoei's legacy reminds us of the importance of faith, hard work, and the positive impact on family and community.
Ningependa tukusema kwa familia, haswa kwa watoto kutoka kila familia, wacha tuchunge wazazi wetu. Tushughulikie wazazi wetu. Kuna magonjwa mengi ambayo yanaweza kuepukwa ikiweza kuonekana kwa haraka. Kwa hivyo tuweze kushughulika, na najua kwamba serikali inafanya kila juhudi kuhakikisha kwamba kwa mfano mambo ya afya inashughulikiwa. Nafikiria tuko na wale community health promoters wakati huu ambao wako mashinani kuangalia afya ya wananchi. Msiogope wananchi. Huyo msichana au kijana akikuja kwako, wacha akuje angalie apime pressure. Wacha akuje apime sukari. Wacha akuje angalie mambo ya maji na mambo ambayo vile mambo inatumika kule nyumbani. Maana pengine ugonjwa zingine ukianza kutumia dawa mapema inaweza kukusaidia. Mambo ya blood pressure, high blood pressure kwa mfano, isiposhughulikiwa mapema ndio inaweza kukua heart attack. Lakini ukianza kutumia dawa mapema na kuanza kufanya vile umeambiwa na daktari na ambao wanatushughulikia, hiyo inaweza kuepushwa.
And the Ministry of Agriculture has assured maize farmers who registered for fertilizer supply that they will not be left out as the planting season sets to begin. Speaking when he visited Kipkelion and Kedoa National Cereal and Produce Board depots in Kipkelion West and Kipkelion East constituencies in Kericho County, the Agriculture PS, Paul Rono, admitted that there was insufficient supply of fertilizer, but all the 6.4 million farmers who registered will be supplied, saying the consignment of 12.5 million bags which were registered for will be delivered on time.
Tumekuja hapa kama wizara wa kilimo kuhakikisha kwamba tumetatua shida za wakulima kuhusu mbolea. Vile hii serikali amehakikisha kwamba wakulima watapata mbolea kutoka bei ya chini sana ya shilingi 2,500. Na kama unaona hapa kuna lori kadhaa imefika kupatia wakulima mbolea, na tumeona vile tumeingia huko ndani, tumeona wakulima wamelete mbegu zao hasa mahindi. So tumeona hapa ndani kama serikali kuu tumenunua tayari mbegu, tumenunua tayari mahindi kinua kadhaa karibu 3,000 yenye zimeletwa. Kuna wamama wamepata kazi kushona hizo mahindi ili kuhakikisha kwamba tumewekwa mzuri ndani ya hii store.
And now, as a way of saving the mangrove from degradation, Kenya Pipeline Corporation has partnered with Kenya Forest Services, that is to increase mangrove numbers at the Kenya coastline. The partnership has led to the planting of 440,000 seedlings on 50 hectares of land at the Jomvu Creek in the Jomvu constituency. The initiative is aimed at stabilizing the coastline, which will reduce erosion from storm surges and tides. Speaking during the exercise, KFC Chief Conservator, that is of the forest, Alex Lemarkoko, insisted on the importance of mangroves in both terrestrial and marine spaces. He further urged all residents to conserve the seedlings. Kenyans who engage in deforestation activities have also been warned. And of course, residents of Mrironi have lauded the move as it will create more employment opportunities through beekeeping.
Of a transitional space between the terrestrial and marine ecosystem, and they stabilize the interface area, and they also act as a habitat for various microorganisms, including a large biodiversity within the coastal region. But the reason why we are doing this is because we have realized that KFS and Kenya Pipeline Company, we have a lot that is in common. When you go to the upcountry, terrestrial forest environment, we have their facilities and infrastructure traversing some parts of our forest. Kuna watu ambao tumeshika kule Kilifi wakikata miti kwenye kaya na kuweka mambo ya development, na tumeshika watu 8 na wako ndani saa hizi na tutahakikisha kwamba watastakiwa.
Now about 3 years. We started with 100,000 and we've been growing steadily. Last year we did 212. We adopted 50 hectares from Kenya Forest, and today you witness the signing of the MOU between us and our government entity, which is Kenya Forest. The benefits of mangrove is immense to the community of Jomvu Creek. One of them is able to attract fish.
Hii jamii iko hapa ni almost 450 to 500 homestead wamepata kipato kupitia jambo hili la KPC.
Mangroves.
Now, senators are blaming the national government for failing to adequately fund devolved functions such as health, a situation that they say has led to frequent disruption of health services in many counties as healthcare workers protest over poor pay and lack of equipment. Speaking at a Muhaya Sub-County Hospital, that is in Luanda constituency, where he did an impromptu visit to assess the state of the healthcare services, Vihiga County Senator Godfrey Osotsi has lashed out at the National Treasury for directing more funds under health budget to the national level, whereas counties receive only a little share of the health budget. The legislator now wants consultative meeting to be held between stakeholders in the health sector at both government levels in order to chart a proper framework that shall ensure that the health sector remains stable at county level.
Na uhuru wa kulalamika, wako na uhuru wa kugoma. Mimi ningependa kuambia yule waziri ambaye anahusika, Madam Susan Nakumicha, sikiza madaktari. Sikiza madaktari. Ya pili, ningependa tukue na mazungumuzo ya ukweli. Washikadau wote wa mambo ya afya, ikiwemo serikali kuu na serikali ya kaunti. Sababu vile nimesema, changamoto kubwa ambayo tuko nayo, tunasema health is devolved, lakini hatuletei counties pesa ya kutosha. Kwa hivyo counties inashindwa hata kuandika madaktari wa kutosha, inashinda kuwalipa in time, inashinda vile vile kugharimu mahitaji ya sekta ya health.
And now, as the world marks International Women's Week, various women rights organizations have continued raising concern on the safety and security of women, saying that the country cannot move forward if the violence that has been witnessed against women is not dealt with. Women have also been challenged to unite and form groups that are in order to assist one another on matters investment in order to achieve financial independence.
Also here to interrogate how the current system, how is it supporting us investing in women, and how can we then look or advocate for systems that enhance access to opportunity for women and girls so that they are all able to pursue employment opportunities, to pursue economic empowerment opportunities, but also looking at it in the sense of how then can these systems ensure that there is enhanced gender equality.
Some of the challenges we are facing now is the increase in taxation. Like everything is being increased. Now, like for example, I'll give sanitary pad that used to go for 50 shillings, it's now going for 111 shillings. It's so hard for a common girl in Mkuru from informal settlement to afford it. So this high taxation is really messing with a lot of women.
Sisi kama wanawake tuna jukumu kubwa sana katika society, ndiposa ninaona kuwa ni vizuri sana kuwa tumekuwa considered, na despite kuwa wakati mwingi sana sisi hunyanyaswa tukiwa manyumbani, hatuna right ya kujitokeza na kuongea, lakini nafasi kama hii imetupa fursa ya kusimama kama wanawake kuongea na kusema yale matatizo ambayo yanatukumba sisi kama wanawake.
What I would like to say about women in terms of progress and being a director at Kimisitu is that we've seen a lot of women being in the circle. Actually, at Kimisitu Circle, we have about 70% of women saving, but also just to encourage, women out there. There are so many opportunities when you get into the formal system, and we have even chamas joining circles, and that's the way you are able to get even bigger financial capital.
Now, experts have emphasized just how critical it is to improve the economic environment in Africa and acknowledge the challenges that are facing the continent as global concerns. Speaking during Students for Liberty conference at Catholic University of East Africa, trade investors said that low trade earnings and credit ratings are investment barriers for African nations, highlighting the importance of openness and well-informed decision-making.
In Students for Liberty, we are a global organization focused on empowering students to champion the ideas of liberty. Talking about democracy in Africa, we are definitely not there yet because there has been an increase in authoritarianism around the continent. A lot of times when elections are held, people feel like their voices can be heard and they want to vote and participate. But because of the amount of control that the government has over the process, a lot of people feel that their voices not eventually get heard, and most times the outcomes of these elections are not representative of what people want.
Very excited to be here, meeting with hundreds of students, young people around the continent who are interested in having conversations about democracy, freedom, freedom of speech, property rights, and of course the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Actually, Africa tuko na 60% of young people population, na hiyo population composed by young people hawako kwa sasa, hawako in employment, so they need jobs. So Africa Continental Free Trade is one of the best solution to create job for young people.
And our Kenyans have been requested to join savings groups to manage their income for a better future. They have also been urged as Kenyans that they are open to register any Kenyan who is willing to invest with them. And speaking at the Waumini Sacco annual event that brought together stakeholders from across the country, the Sacco chairperson, Edmond Okaro, encouraged Kenyans to save so that they can access loans and other related services from the Saccos.
I want to encourage our members that they continue saving, they continue accessing credit at very competitive rates, but even as they enjoy their dividends, I remind them that they should not eat the seeds, they should plant again, so that whatever they receive as interest and dividends, they may also purpose to invest some of those resources they use, or the money they will get prudently, also to remember that there is tomorrow.
Kupitia kwa chama cha ushirika na chama cha akiba na mikopo kama waumini, una nafasi ya kujiendeleza. Mimi nimejiunga na chama hiki yapata miaka 21 iliyopita. Na kwa kweli nimefaidika kiasi kwamba unavyoniona, kama kuna lolote linalong'ara basi ni kutokana na kuwa mwanachama wa waumini sako. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wale ambao hawana chama cha akiba na mikopo, na haswa wenzetu ambao ni wa dhehebu la Wakatoliki, wajiunge na chama hiki kwa vile ni chama aminifu na kinachostahimili changamoto mbalimbali zinazotokea haswa katika nyakati hizi za hali gumu ya kiuchumi.
Now, as one of the ways to deal with maternal and perinatal deaths in Bungoma County, the residents must embrace family planning, that is before other measures to control such cases. This is according to the County Executive Committee member of Health in Bungoma, Andrew Wamalwa, who says that the county is still has a large number of children born and needs to be controlled. Wamalwa said this during the last event of the Health Project for Mothers and Babies that was run by the organization E4E Mamaye in Bungoma County. On his part, the director, that is of South African region, Kenneth Masharia, has said that climate change has greatly affected health in the world and there is need to change the methods of addressing health agendas.
There were almost 53,000 live births in Bungoma County. 53,000 live births in Bungoma County. Ametoka kuniambia leo Ken, na mko wengi, hii Bungoma mko wengi sana. Ni ukweli. We are giving birth to over 50,000 babies every year. Then it means we have to increase our funding and our resource to health equitably, so that we're able to meet the expectations of 50,000 new people in this county. And my question is it sustainable? Is it? So, tukisema kwamba women and children are suffering. They are dying from needless deaths that could be avoided. The first way to avoid those needless deaths is family planning. Watoto kama kuku. Kuku inazaa watoto wengi, wengine watakufa, wengine wabaki. Si ndio? Sisi tumetoka huko. A man of my age, if you have more than 5 children or 4 children, umeanza kuenda vibaya. Si ndio?
As much as we are having a closeout, I'd rather call it a celebration of where we've been, right? And so the question is, where do we go next? And a lot of the learning that we're taking here, we want to take it forward. We want to speak to our different clients and look at different ways of working. And not the national government, actually even the county government, there's a whole discussion around digitization of health. Now these are areas that we're really looking at, issues of climate and health. I'm sure you're grappling with those same issues in terms of the impact that climate change has had on health. Those are areas that we're really building into. And so we'll always have Bungoma in our hearts, in our minds, as we go to programming for new work.
Kifi County leaders have been urged to work together to better development in the grassroots. Speaking during the celebrations of International Women's Day in Malindi, Member of Parliament Amina Mnyanzi and area MCS said it is time for leaders to focus on developing their county instead of dwelling on divisive politics. Malindi Town Ward MCA Rashid Odhiambo equally said that Kilifi was blessed with a cabinet secretary in the national government, Aisha Jumwa, and the governor, Gideon Mungaro, which is an added advantage as there is no reason to complain that Kilifi was in opposition and not in government. Odhiambo appealed to leaders to be united the same way they were during campaigns and after elections instead of unnecessary conflicts and insults.
Wakati wetu wa kujijenga na kuwa na neema, kwa sababu tuna viongozi wawili, tuko na waziri na tuko na gavana. Hakuna sababu ya kusema ya kwamba sisi tuko upinzani, hatuko kwenye serikali. na hakuna sababu ya kusema kwamba tuko kwenye serikali hatuko kwenye upinzani. Kama ni serikali ya kaunti tuko ndani, kama ni serikali ya kitaifa pia tuko ndani. Hakuna sababu yoyote iwe iwayo ya kwamba Kilifi County tulie, tulalamike, tuseme kwamba hakuna maendeleo yanaweza kupatikana. Na hii ndiyo moja katika zile kaunti ambayo inapata pesa nyingi zaidi katika hili taifa letu la Kenya. Sisi MCAs tulitembea pamoja na baada ya kura tukatembea pamoja. Ni ombi langu ya kwamba tungezidi kushikana pamoja na tukaenda pamoja mpaka wakati wa mwisho utakapofika. Ikifika wakati wa kura, wananchi wataamua watarudisha nani na ni nani ambaye watatoa.
Mimi sitasimama katika jukwaa kuteta na wanawake wenzangu, na ndio maana na Mheshimiwa Aisha Jumwa Karisa kama waziri wetu. Najua wengi hawadhani kwamba labda wanawake wanaweza kushikana. Yeye ana chama chake cha UDA, mimi nina chama changu cha ODM. Si ni hivyo? Sasa tutete kwa sababu gani? Yeye Mungu amembariki ni waziri, mimi Mungu amenibariki ni mbunge. Hata nikimchapa vita ndio nitafanywa mimi waziri?
Now, Bomet County health workers have threatened to go on strike starting Monday following what they have termed as county government failure to address issues affecting the health sector that is in the county. Led by Timothy Kigen, the branch secretary of Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, the officers have said that there has been no promotions of the 612 members for the last 6 years, despite consecutive consultation they have had with the county government for the last 3 years. They have demanded that their issues be addressed with urgency in fear of the consequences that follow close on health facilities.
We are disgruntled lot given that there have been no promotions for all our officers over the last 6 years. We therefore, we've been in consultation with the county government of Bomet for the last 3 years, and they've shown no effort in trying to mitigate this grievance. We therefore want to urge the government to address this issue with urgency so that we avert an industrial action that is set to begin by 11th of March.
We've had a series of meetings with the county government, but they are adamant to act on what we have raised. We have around 612 staffs for health who have not received their promotion for the last 6 years. And failure to act on those issues that we have given them, we are going to issue a strike notice of 7 days.